Fresh off the Knottfest stage, we got Internal Bleeding. Who we got?
Jay Lift bass, Keith DeVito vocals, Billy Tolley drums,
Chris Pravelis guitar.
Who wants to talk about how the band got together? Give us a little bit of history here.
Back in 1991, I wanted to form a band, and I used to go to local shows and hand out flyers and stuff, you know, looking for musicians, so on and so forth. I picked him up, called me, you know, we got together, we started jamming. We got some other people, you know, and 20 some odd years later, here we are.
Amazing.
Yeah, been a long, long haul.
Yeah.
5 albums, lots of tours.
So what is it about the chemistry here that keeps you all together?
Back to him.
Well, it was me.
He's the glue.
Listen, I joined the band
I'm not a chemist.
I joined the band after the hiatus the band took. You know, they took some time off. You know, people did their thing, started families. You know, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
I joined the band back in 2011. I've known them though since I was 16 years old. You know.
Yeah.
About
Used to go see the band.
About 18 years I've been friends with these guys. You
Okay.
know, from the local scene, and you know, when they started up again in 2011, you know, they had everything except the bass player, and I was you know, I was talking to one of the dudes, and I
He
said,
was busy
hey.
in a polka band at the time.
I said, hey, maybe I could play bass. You know, I'm a guitar player first. You know,
Okay.
I'm a blues man. I'm a slide guitar player. You know, I said, hey, I could play bass. You know,
It's a piece of wood with some strings on it.
yeah, minus 2 strings. How hard could it be? You know?
Probably 2 strings easier,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So yeah, you know, I gave it a shot. And I told him, I said, if I suck, kick me out. You know, tell me I ain't no good. You know, and but here
Well,
we
half
are.
of it's passion, you know what I mean?
Well, that's
Absolutely.
it.
You don't need
That's
a
it.
virtuoso.
Nope.
You need somebody who's down for the
into it.
cause.
You know what,
And believes in
Yeah,
the music.
that goes a lot further than some guy shredding up there that nobody
Absolutely.
cares about.
Everybody who's in the band now, we all go way back.
Way back.
I mean way
Okay.
back, you know? And I mean that chemistry, it's like a family, you know? The whole Long Island scene is like that. You know, got like us, Suffocation, Dehumanized, you know, it's a whole Malignancy. I mean, it's a whole scene thing, you know.
Okay.
The Long Island, New York City death metal scene.
Okay.
It's a tight scene, you know, and we're all a big family, you know.
Started in a lot of basements and
Everyone
rehearsal
knows
halls.
each other.
and-
There's guys that went to high school together. You know what I mean? It's a big family thing. So the chemistry, obviously, was there from that. You know?
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of these guys that are, you know, I mean, older than me have been through more than I have.
Yeah,
the
of
scene
course.
And the ups and the downs, and, you know. But I mean, you know, we go out on tour. We look forward to going out on tour. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's, you know.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest with us, I think one of the biggest things is our personalities. We kind of, I mean, we all have our idiosyncrasies, but our personalities mesh. We're all really mean to each other. We're really mean to everybody else.
Okay.
We're rude. We're obnoxious. We're insensitive, but we're all like that. So,
Right.
So, like, if I insult a crippled lady, nobody's gonna get upset.
Can't ruffle feathers if you're all ruffling,
I'm not
right?
saying I insult crippled ladies, but you know what I'm saying. You know, we're just really rough around the
right.
edges.
That's messed up, man.
And we're all the same way. And
Yeah.
we beat on each other as much as we beat on everybody else. You know?
Yeah.
And it just clicks, you know.
Sure.
We've got this warped sense of humor. All of us have
Right.
the same warped sense of humor.
So it starts for fun, and after a while, it's like, man, we're getting pretty good. We got
Yes.
some songs together. You know, as far as yourself being a vocalist, who did you aspire to? Who were like your musical heroes?
Martin from Pestilence, Malay from Creator, definitely, and that's about it. I try and like
Neil Sedaka.
no,
Just stop.
no, I don't know. I just try and like discover my own style, but definitely the guitar
Those
players,
guys blew you away, though.
the people I just said,
Yeah.
because they were playing and had patterns that didn't follow just what they were playing. It was syncopated, so I tried to do that without playing. So
Yeah. And how about you? When you joined the band, who inspired you? Who were like some of your bands or drummers you looked up to?
Oh, back in the day, Dave Lombardo was a big influence on me.
Right.
And Mike Smith on the first Suffocation album. If it wasn't for that album together, man, that really inspired me
Yeah.
to get into that
Amazing stuff. So now how many albums?
5.
5 albums.
Our 5th one just came out last September.
Okay.
So we're still working it because the album cycle is long. So after this, we go home. We start writing the next one.
Okay.
5 albums and two demo tapes that are eBay treasures to find.
Yeah, that's true,
The
yeah.
So
original,
Knottfest is kind of into the cycle here?
Oh yeah.
we're honored.
Yeah,
man.
We're really
Oh,
psyched.
yeah.
You know, we go back a long way with Mick
Anal
and
blast.
Corey and stuff like that.
Yeah.
we got
You know, they were fans of the band before even Slipknot.
Yeah,
was
that's
around,
amazing
so.
stuff. Dude, Slipknot got so big, but Corey and the guys are still so humble.
We got to talk to Corey earlier today. He
Okay.
stopped by the Extreme stage and said hello to everybody. And,
Yeah.
we were happy to get to talk to him. We told him how thankful we were to be on the
And not
on the fest.
forgotten, never forgotten. They never,
Yeah, he
you know,
didn't
those
forget
guys
where
never
he came
forget.
from.
Yeah, they didn't forget where they
Right.
Like, oh, we love IB, man, ever since we were kids, you know, and so it's like really cool, you know. It's get a little recognition, you know.
Yeah, especially since this music business is all crazy now.
Yeah,
you know what I
it's
mean?
insane.
You know, what was once stable is now just completely crazed. But if you play music for the love of it and knock it out, live, you got to have a sense that somewhere along the line, people willing to, come to the shows, buy a T-shirt, or keep it alive. I mean,
man.
Coming from New York, you had all those great record stores used to frequent. I'm sure.
Bleecker Bob's.
Oh yeah, man.
What was it, Slip Disc?
Slip disc, yeah.
Oh yeah.
None of the above?
None of the above. Those were the days.
Oh, yeah.
You go in a record store for an hour. I said,
Oh man, you get lost in the store, man.
yeah.
Just going through the crates.
And the owners of the stores, the little independent stores,
Yeah.
the owners of the stores were like as big a fan of
they-
the music as you were.
They knew everything.
Right.
And they were getting the calls so they could tip you off to, hey man, if you're into
exactly.
this,
Come
you
in
gotta
next,
check this
come
one
in
out.
next Tuesday. The new the new Beherit's coming out. Blah blah blah.
I gotta tell you, I miss that whole the record store, treasure hunt.
Yeah.
We had a place where I grew up in Oceanside, New York, and it was called the Music Den.
Okay.
And they had a wall that was about 8 feet long with all used CDs. I remember going in there and finding the first Korn album before anybody knew who Korn was. I remember grabbing that album for like $6 used. And I read a little thing about them in R.I.P. magazine, Rip magazine.
Yep.
And I remember bringing that home. Nobody knew who the hell they were. 2 years later, everybody's wearing T-shirts. And the people who were telling me when I played it for them were going, "Oh, what is this? Turn it off." They're rocking T-shirts 2 years later.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see the music, evolve and the heavy stuff get the recognition that it deserves. And it was cool to see Korn last night. To share a bill with them. And Slipknot.
Oh
Yeah.
definitely.
And all these bands.
We also
Yeah.
grew up in a good time where,
Yeah.
and you would tell me stories, and I remember this where before school, everybody's hanging out, smoking cigarettes, doing whatever, and somebody's like, "Listen to this," and they pop in a cassette a cassette.
Oh, sure,
into
a Walkman
into
or
a cheap stereo, and they're
car.
cranking it out in the parking lot.
Sacrifice.
And that's how people discover
That's how
music.
I heard Internal
course.
Bleeding for the first time, and
Of course,
here I am
man.
playing with the
Yeah, man.
Those were good days.
Cassette trading.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's lost now, which is a
Yeah.
sad thing. The internet's a great thing. There's pros and there's a lot of cons.
Destroyed a lot of good stuff we used
It
to
really
take
did.
for granted.
It destroyed
The
the joy
hunting-
of discovery.
Yeah.
And the joy of discovery, for me, I know, and a lot of people, I used to read thank you lists. I used to, bands that I loved, I'd read the thank you lists.
Yeah.
And then I would go, oh, well, who is this band influenced by?
Right.
Who are they, who are they thanking? Who are they, where are they drawing their influences from, And I discovered so much music from that. And I think nowadays with the internet, it's too easy to download all the stuff for free.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
We're just honored to be here. We really are.
Yeah. It's amazing stuff. How about you? What do you miss the most about what we used to enjoy just years ago in the music business?
Good to meet you, man.
The camaraderie,
It's like
really. It became.
The internet's made people impersonal.
No, it became competition after a while.
I think the impersonal thing.
The local
Yeah.
bands, stuff like that. Everybody started competing instead of helping each other out.
Yeah.
But
gonna try.
naturally, when somebody else
so just
excels,
hurry
the
up.
other person's gonna resent them.
You know where the
But that's the one thing I regret.
You know what though? Back in the day, when you heard of a band, or even if you might have heard of a band but never heard them before, and you would seek out their live performance to see if this band was real,
Yeah.
And you would go check them out. You would pay the money at the door, and you would go in and check that band out.
I'd like to get you in for a
and
second.
nowadays it's, I heard of this band.
Hurry up.
Let's go look up on YouTube. Let's go download it for free through these these websites or whatever. And it's a different animal. When you went to shows and like you said, the camaraderie, of the scene.
Right.
It's not as big as it was before, as far as camaraderie goes.
Yeah.
There's still a scene.
And listen to a new album. It would soak in. You listen to it for months. Now it's like in one ear and it's a file on your phone or
Right,
something.
file
It's
on your
not-
hard drive,
It's not
yeah.
that vinyl that you just
Right.
kept
And you got
popping a
nothing.
needle on.
And you got nothing to go through.
Yeah, the cassette tape. The
You
J
download
card.
an MP3. There's no J card to
The
look
J
at. There's no
card.
thank you list. It's
Yeah.
like you were
Yeah.
talking about. No band phone. I think
Our
mailing
art's
lists.
about that big.
I think you don't get. You get the music, right? You get the music, but when you get like the vinyl or the cassette or the CD, you get the band.
Yes.
You get their personality because they're the ones who are overseeing the
100%.
design of the CD. You get the lyrics. You see what's going on through the vocalist's head. It's like you learn about their personality too. It's not, and it sucks because people bond with. How do I explain it? People bond with personalities.
Yeah.
They can bond with music, but you get a deeper bond when you bond with a personality. Like, oh, that guy,
Yeah.
I saw his photo. He plays this kind of guitar. He's
Yeah.
wearing this band's shirt.
Besides the record stores, there used to be the mom and pop music stores, the guitar
Those
stores.
were the best.
Absolutely.
Those were the
You
best.
know?
The mom and pops were the
Yeah.
best.
I got my first guitar from a mom and pop music store in Freeport. I think it's
Sure.
still there,
Yeah.
It was hanging
need to
up. It was a
support those
used,
guys.
It was
Yeah,
a used
yeah.
acoustic guitar. It was a chord.
Yeah.
And I bought it right off the ceiling. You know what I mean?
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what? Maybe there's hope. I mean, vinyl is coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
We can't keep hold of our vinyl.
Yeah.
So you never know. I mean, maybe there's a resurgence in people.
Let's hope.
wanting
Some of these
physical,
artists on the
tangible-
top, if they keep reminding people, like, no, don't fucking
Vinyl,
steal the
yeah.
music, and
Yes.
let's
Well,
pull
that's a
together
good
and
point.
support
That's
these
gonna
little
stop,
stores. Yeah.
Stealing music.
Yeah.
Stop.
No, stealing.
But
yeah.
it doesn't bother a band at our stature.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect us as much as
as much as
the other bands that
Yeah.
have lawsuits.
Right.
over it,
Listen, I'll be honest with you.
I don't care.
I've downloaded music before for free, and you know what? If I
can't
like
even
it, I buy the CD. You know, I purchased that CD. You know, if it's a band that I support and I like, I buy the CD. I want the physical CD.
Right.
I want that cover. I want that J card. I want that. You know what I mean?
You're a fucking god, dude.
Oh my God. Why'd you tell him that? Why the hell did you tell him that? You know how big his ego is now?
Shut up! It should be bigger. Knock it off!
Thank you, man.
Hey, this is our other guitar player. He made it!
Now he's never coming
on! Get over here!
What's my favorite band? Hey guys,
Which band?
Dying Fetus.
Okay.
They're my favorite band. I had to finish.
Yeah, let's slide.
Well, we'll excuse you for that.
Come on in, brother. Come on in.
So,
I'm so sweaty.
Come here.
Nah, fuck that.
Come here.
You're the fucking
bastard.
plebe.
Introduce yourself.
Chris
Hey, guys.
McCarthy. Chris McCarthy.
Chris
Without
McCarthy,
remorse.
Internal Bleeding.
Internal bleeding.
Here, man, 2015.
We are so happy.
How's it feel to be here at
Knottfest,
Knottfest?
Literally the most life-affirming, awesome weekend of my life.
Wow,
No question about it. I grew up listening to Internal Bleeding and listening to Slipknot. I discovered them both at pretty much the same time.
Wow.
When I was probably 14, like 1999.
Yeah.
Blew my fucking mind.
He's 15 now. That was 3 weeks ago, by the way.
And to be here playing and doing this.
It's a bucket list.
It's more than a bucket list.
We
It's
just
like
got
a full
in-
circle life
just
affirming
got in the
weekend.
band
It's fucking awesome. Internal
right?
Bleeding rules.
Some new
We're
blood.
writing some new fucking music.
Guitarist couldn't live up.
Okay.
And,
He's been touring with us for about, what, 3 years now? He's been touring with us. Our old guitar player, Brian Hobby. Brian Hobby, original member. We love Brian to death.
but he couldn't do it.
He just, with his job, he just couldn't, you know, all the time off and everything was becoming an issue. And, you know, he opted
Well,
to.
just like a sports team, man. You got to bring in the new player, man.
Well, you know, we're honored to have Chris McCarthy.
You got to put the starters on the field.
We're honored to have Chris McCarthy here, you know, you know, here he is.
See what I mean about the personalities?
Yeah. I'm already telling.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Being in a van crisscrossing the country got to be crazy.
Yes.
Oh my God.
The country, the
You
world.
should see him when he's driving.
Uh-oh.
You want to see the core? Get the fuck out of my way!
He's the worst driver on the planet. He's so mean.
Yeah.
He's so mean.
Talk about road rage.
sometimes at night he'll be courteous to the rest of us in the van.
Yeah.
And I'll be, you know, co-piloting or whatever, and somebody will cut us off and he'll just go. Pause. He'll hold it back, you know, audibly. Pause.
Because he knows everyone's sleeping.
I always have change in my hand because I like to throw in my cars.
No, you
Okay.
don't. No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
He's just saying that for the
Holy
video.
shit.
He doesn't.
I did it in Texas.
No evidence.
It's legal. in Texas, actually.
That would be a crime.
Throwing chains
Ah,
in Texas. No, I know.
He actually
Dragging
doesn't- he
peanuts
doesn't
on
do
cars
that.
and chains, that's legal.
It makes for a good story.
He's talking about a change of attitude,
Yeah.
not physical change. So what's up next as you make this next record? What do you think we're going to be looking at?
We're going to be looking at our last record took our music to one level. I think this next album is taking it to even bigger. We got 2 songs for the new album done so far, and they're game changing for us. I think
Okay.
They have a lot of new influences in it.
You know, when we write, we don't like set walls up for ourselves in terms of like.
But we have to realize expectations.
We realize expectations, but at the same time, we do not set walls up saying, "Oh, well, we can't do that because we're a death metal band."
No, we can do whatever we want.
We don't abide by any genre restrictions, you know. So I think that really helps us when we're writing because nothing is off limits.
Sure.
You know, and as a band, we're
also jam.
We're also very critical of everything that each of us brings to the table, which is very important, I think, in the writing phase. You know, we're extremely critical.
So everybody's got to feel it?
Yeah.
That's hard because I know that, you know, I'll write a riff and I'll be in love with it, and I'm like scared to present it to the band because they're going to be critical. They're going to say, let's change this. Let's do it. And it's like your little baby.
That's
you
your
know,
baby.
you write this,
Right.
but you got to drop that ego, you know. And I think that's one of the things that I think we have a good combination with. You know, somebody will say, nah, it's not working. You know,
And we all contribute to that writing process, you know.
Yeah.
All of us, you know.
How about you being the new guy to this
got
process?
me
Say, without getting off on a tangent, the new stuff that we're going to bring to the table with me helping out is going to be more streamlined, a little more mature, a little more intense, a little more pummeling as we write each song, as we keep doing it. We're going to try and really hone it down, like razor sharp, and do stuff that other bands can't do. Not necessarily technically, but creatively. You know what I'm saying? There's so many bands out there doing just flat bullshit. We're trying to do memorable, fun shit. It's 3 minutes and it just rocks the whole way through. That's what we're going for. And it's got to be competitive and intense and fun and memorable.
We want you to.
Fun is the word.
We want you to walk away. The way we judge our own riffs is if we leave practice driving home and we're humming that riff that whoever brought to the table.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
And we can't get it out of our heads. It's a winner. You know what I mean? It's all about that memorable stuff. You know?
Yeah.
We want you to leave the show going, oh man,
You got to be desiring to hear that again.
Yes.
Yep.
100%.
You got to be a fan of the music that you write. If you're not, if you're just doing it like a business, like I know the formula, here's what it is, and it's done. That sucks.
Yeah.
You gotta, like Jay was saying, you gotta go home and you gotta I'm gonna put on the fucking thing we just recorded tonight. And you listen to it the whole way home and you're punching your steering wheel, you're swerving all over the road, and you're like, oh my God,
And we do that all the time. At practice, something will be amazing, and we always record our own stuff when we're writing, and then we'll each go home listening to it. I may come back the next day. I may text him at 4 in the morning, and be like, bro, I'm listening to that thing we wrote the other day. We're doing that one riff 6 times. We should only do it like 4. You know what I mean? Like it's something that's not.
and then there's a 3-hour argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, we're going to go down the line right now and closing. Everybody give a little tip to the young bands, young players going today. What advice you got for them?
Start as early as you can and play as often as you can, and only do it if you actually love it. There's too many people that are fans of the music that are also attending to play the music now, and that's kind of watering down everything. If you love it and you feel it, you gotta fucking do it. You're just kind of doing it to just do it.
Yeah.
Purchase CDs from the bands that you love. Research influences. Educate yourself on the influences that those musicians, listen to, and you're gonna take your musical, I don't want to say career, but you're gonna take it to another level. Learn those influences, purchase those CDs, and don't give up, and don't just rely on the internet. Go to shows, meet the bands, talk to people.
Support the community.
Build friendships. That's what it's all about. Build friendships and just have a good time.
Create your own style. If you don't, you're gonna get lost in the mix. That's all I have to say.
I'd have to say consistency. Stuff's not going to happen overnight. If you're a drummer or a guitarist, bassist, singer, you got to keep at it. It's not going to come to you overnight. If you want to go flying double bass, it comes with time. So just be patient. It'll happen, guys.
As Winston Churchill would say, never give up, never give in, never, never, never. And just push and push and push until people are annoyed and sick of you, and just keep pushing. If you believe in it, like Chris was saying, you gotta believe in it and you gotta love it. If you don't, just get out. But you gotta push with all your might. I think that's critical. You gotta believe in what you do and be a fanatic.
Yeah. Do it for the love of it.
Yeah, you have to be a fan of your own stuff before anyone else.
And not be embarrassed
Exactly.
to be a fan of your own stuff.
Yeah. Well, again, congratulations.
Knottfest,
Eternal
2015,
Bleeding,
man.
Knottfest.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. See you guys on the next
Thank you,
tour.
guys.